Hello everyone, my name is Molly, and today we're here to talk about all the books that I read in the month of May and all the books that I plan to read in the month of June. I've been having a really good reading stretch. I read a total of 10 books, I think it's 10, in the month of May, which I think is really good seeing as I had school and things to do. And I mean, I have a pretty ambitious TBR for June. I don't know how much I'll get done because I go back to work and I have finals, so it'll get a little bit crazier. But I'm hoping to get through the books that I have on this list, and I have BookCon coming up, so I'll be getting tons of new reading material, and you'll probably see some of those books in my June wrap-up. As far as events go, for the month of June, I have BookCon, which is this weekend, and I'm very excited. I absolutely cannot wait. And then I'm going to an event at Oxford Valley in Pennsylvania, and that's for V.E. Schwab, Madeline Raux, and Joelle Charbonneau or something. I don't know how to say her last name, but she wrote the testing. And then I also have HowlerCon this month, the last HowlerCon ever. It's so sad, but I'm super excited for that one as well. But we're not here to talk about events, we're here to talk about all the books that I read, so let's dive right in. The first book that I read in the month of May was A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I read ACOWAR. I was so excited for this book to come out after I finished ACOMAF. I was like, I need it, and I got it, and I read it. I originally was gonna wait. ACOWAR came out on a Tuesday, but I was gonna go to Sarah's event on Friday, so I was just gonna wait and buy the book there. And then all my friends started reading it, and they were all talking about it, and I was like, I have to get it. So I went and I bought it and I read it, and it was so good, guys. Like, it was so good. And here is Sarah's signature. I love meeting Sarah. She's really nice and fun, but this book was so good, guys. I still think A Court of Mist and Fury was my favorite out of the trilogy, but this was a really close second. I really enjoyed it. I really liked how you got to see the whole inner circle and how that all went down, and it was a lot of fun to read. And even though it was 700 pages, it doesn't look that way, but it is 700 pages. It flew by really quickly, and so I really, really enjoyed this book. The next book that I read was actually a reread, and that was City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. If you guys don't know already, I'm doing a monthly reread of the TMI series, so every month I'm reading a different book in the series. I started with City of Bones, I read City of Ashes, see all my tabbies. I honestly forgot most of what happened in City of Ashes, so I'm happy I reread it. I enjoyed it, of course, because it's Cassandra Clare, how could I not? And so I can't wait to continue my reread with this series. The next book on this list was one that I also read in preparation for a signing, and that is When We Collided by Emery Lord. I got to meet her also in Bensalem. She signed my book. It was very exciting. She was really nice. She was there with Tiffany Schmidt, who was also very nice, but I didn't get any of her books. When We Collided is a contemporary, and originally I thought it was just a contemporary, but it turns out it deals with mental illness and mental health problems, and I found that a really nice aspect. I like reading about mental health, and I like reading about those types of issues, and so I did enjoy this book. I really started enjoying it at the end. In the beginning, I was really annoyed with the main character until we understood what was going on with her. Like, I never really picked up on it, and I was just like, she's kind of too much for me, and all this stuff, but then I came to understand her. I really liked the main guy, Jonah, and just the struggles that they went through in this book felt really real, and I love this cover. The next book that I have on here I picked up on a whim, and that is Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard. I was in between books, I didn't know what to read, and so I pulled out this book and another book, and I made my mom choose for me because I couldn't decide which one, and she ended up picking this one. I have a very Infernal Devices feel from this book. It takes place in the same time period, and it is very like the main girl characters like, no, women can kick ass too, and I really liked that. This book follows a girl, and in her world the dead are rising, and so there's zombies around, and she ends up meeting the zombie hunters, but she has to deal with the hardships at that time of class and what is proper and what is not, and how to keep her family name while still helping these hunters. I loved the romance in this book, although it didn't happen. I was like, I need it to happen. And I know it will. I just need to continue on with the series. I'm really excited to continue on. I really enjoyed this. You can tell her writing definitely got better with Truthwitch, but the story itself in this book I enjoyed more than the story in Truthwitch, but they were both really good. The next book I read I absolutely loved, and that is Geekerella by Ashley Poston. This book is everywhere on BookTube and Bookstagram, and it deserves the hype. It's so good, and it should be right up there with Fangirl, honestly. Like, if you are a fangirl, read this book. It's so good, and it also gives you a perspective on, like, the stars' point of view and how they see everything that's happening, and I found that really interesting. But this is just a fangirl's dream. It is so awesome. So basically, this is a Cinderella retelling, and our main character is obsessed with a TV show, and her dad actually started a convention for it, but then her dad died, so she didn't go to the convention anymore. And then she ends up entering this cosplay contest, and all this stuff happens, and she also starts talking to this anonymous person online, and it's really cute, and you guys know I love stories like this, so I definitely recommend this one. The next book on this list is Did I Mention I Love You by Estelle Mascame. I really enjoyed this book as well. It was just such a good contemporary, and it's kind of difficult because you feel kind of weird when you ship the ship in this book because they're step siblings, but like they're not. It's fine. Like, it was the first time they had met each other, so it was fine. It wasn't like they grew up together and just, like, loved each other. It was like they just met and then they fell in love, and it was really cute, but you also feel kind of like, oh, I can't ship this. They're related. Kind of, not really, but kind of, and it's like, ah. But anyway, so this book is about a girl, and she goes to spend the summer with her dad in California, and she meets her foster brother who, like, just... They connect, they fall in love, and it's really cute, and the way this book ended, I was like, no, you can't end like this. But it was really good, it was a really fun contemporary to read, so if you're looking for that type of story, go check this one out. The next book I read was on my TBR for forever, and that was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. One day I was watching a booktube video about people's most embarrassing books that they haven't read yet, and Shadow and Bone was on it, and that was also one of mine when I did the video forever ago, and I was like, I still haven't read it. And so I decided I wasn't reading anything. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna read Shadow and Bone. I finished it in like a day, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the characters, and the Darkling is like an amazing villain, and Alina was great, and the story was just really cool. I liked the universe that it was set in, so yes, if you have this book on your shelf, you should go read it. It's really good, and even though there's like names that you can't pronounce and stuff going on, it's still really good, and it's an easy world to fall into as opposed to some worlds where you just can't understand anything that's happening. The next book I read I was very proud of because my friends can attest to this. I don't finish series. Like, I'll read the first book of the series and then I'll wait like years to read the next book, but the book I picked up after Shadow and Bone was Siege and Storm, which is the second book in the Grisha trilogy. I really liked this book. I think this might have been my favorite book of the series. Like, I really enjoyed it, which is unusual for second books, but I loved Nikolai. Like, he was my favorite character in this entire story, and I loved him so much, and so I think that really made the book for me. The next book on this list I actually got from the library, and that is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Aliri Saennes. I totally butchered that name, and I'm sorry, but So, I had to read this book for school, for our school book club thing that we have going on. It's our last book of the year. I had seen a lot of hype about this book on YouTube forever ago, and then I finally decided to read it because I had to, and all in all, it was okay. It reminded me a lot of Adam Silvera's books, but worse. Like, I liked Adam's books better. You know, this book wasn't bad, it just wasn't really my cup of tea. I didn't feel like the ship was very developed. It was just like all of a sudden, like they were best friends and then all of a sudden the one was in love with the other, and it felt very out of character for that person, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, and I didn't really like the way the story was told. There were some good quotes in here, and it wasn't like a horrible book, but it wasn't my favorite, and like if you're on the fence, maybe go read another book. And the final book I read this month was Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This is the third and final book in the Grisha trilogy. I did really enjoy this book as well. There's not really much left to say, but I did finish the series and I was really proud of myself for actually doing that. I don't know when I'll get to Six of Crows, though. Alright, now we're gonna move into the books that I want to read in the month of June. So the first 3 books on this list are by the same author. I bet you can guess who she is. That's right. Cassandra Clare. Lord of Shadows is my must-read. I have to finish this book. This is the second book in the Dark Artifice series. Currently, I am 159 pages in. I've been tabbing along as I go. It's a lot of fun, and I'm very excited. I'm hoping to do a book talk. I'm not going to promise one because I do that a lot, and then I never actually make the book talks, but I'm tabbing, I'm trying, so I hope this works out because I would love to book talk one of Cassie's books. I'm so excited for this book. It's so good, guys. Like, it's so good already, and I'm just like, I need to keep reading. But, like, school gets in the way of my reading, and I'm just like, no, stop. I need to read. The next book I have on this list is Tales from Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare and Friends. I need to read this book. I've started reading the ebooks when they were released, and I got up to, like, story 5 or something like that, and then I just stopped, and I don't really know why. I just kind of put it down and I never picked it back up. And my friend just read them and she was talking about them. I was like, I need to read them. So it's on the TBR. Maybe I'll get to it after I finish Lord of Shadows, and I will start from the beginning because I don't remember a lot of what happened in the stories, so hopefully I'll get through it. This is also a pretty big chunk of story, so I'm excited because I do remember really, really enjoying it. The last Cassie Clare book on this list is City of Glass. This is the third book in the Mortal Instruments series, and it is the book I'm currently on in my reread. I'm very excited for it. I can't wait to read this book again. I think this was my favorite book in the whole series, and so I'm really excited to be able to reread it. The next book I have on this list because of BookCon, and that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I'm hopefully meeting Carrie and getting an arc of Hunting Prince Dracula, which is the second book in this series. I don't know if it's a continuation of the story or just kind of like a companion novel, but either way, I'm really excited because it sounds like a lot of fun. I am currently reading this book as well as Lord of Shadows, and I'm on page 39. It's a little harder to get into because the main girl works in like a morgue, and I'm not really into that stuff, and I don't really know a lot of terminology, so it's a little difficult, but I'm excited to get further into the story. Jack the Ripper is a really interesting story, and so I'm excited to see how Carrie told it. The next book on this list I threw on my TBR last minute. It's just a weird one that I don't really know why I put it on here, but I did, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I tried to read Daughter of Smoke and Bone a while ago, and I just couldn't get into it. I wasn't in the right mood, which I've heard you need to be in a certain mood to read this book, and right now I'm in that mood, so hopefully this will get finished within the month. Once upon a time, an angel and a devil fell in love. It did not end well. Like, if that doesn't get you interested, I don't know what will. The next 2 books on this list are ones that will complete a series that I started last month, and they are Did I Mention I Need You and Did I Mention I Miss You by Estelle Mascame. These are the second and third books in the Did I Mention I Love You series, which were originally Wattpad novels, which I didn't know. I do hope to finish this series soon. I hope my ship ends up together, and I hope everything works out. And I'm excited to read these because it's summer, so summery contemporaries, yay! And the last book on my TBR is A Darkness Strange and Lovely by Susan Dennard. This is the second book in the Something Strange and Deadly series. It's a trilogy, so maybe I'll read both books this month, depending on how much I read and how much time I have, but this is the second book. I'm hoping to continue on with the series because it was really good and I want to see what happens to these characters. Alright guys, that is it. Those are all the books that I have to talk about today, but before you leave, I have one quick announcement. For BookCon this year, I got business cards and I'm really excited. I feel so official when I have them. And here, let me show you one. So these are my business cards. I don't know if you can see them. See? So I ordered these for BookCon and I'm super excited. If you see me at any conventions, I will have them with me. So come up and say hi, I'll give you a business card. And yeah, I'm very awkward, so I'm worried that I'm gonna not hand out enough or not hand them out to the right people, but it's fine. I'll get over it and we'll figure it out. So, yeah, yay! Alright guys, so those are all the books that I read and all the books that I plan to read. Let me know what your favorite read of last month was and what book you're planning to read next month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I try to upload a video every week. If you like my videos, then subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!